Hello again. This is, let's see what, number 5 of the Contra Calvinism videos. If you figure out how you can diagnose a lie, then any lie can be diagnosed. Okay, it's just like going to West Point. One of the big things that they teach you in West Point is how really famous and good people made really big blunders in history. You know, like at the Battle of El Alamein, the salient that happened at the Felay Gap. You know, you learn those things. You learn where Napoleon blundered. And so now we're learning where Calvinism blunders. Now in this video I'm going to focus on what is original sin. Because you have to know what original sin is in order to understand total depravity, and in order to understand why the totally depraved definition of total depravity in Calvinism is wrong. Now there are a couple of ways to do that, and I'm not sure I'm picking the right one. But I would first refer you to Isaiah chapter 44. It's one of my favorite Bible chapters, because the whole essence of the sin nature is there depicted. In that chapter, Isaiah is being very sarcastic about the straw man guy who, you know, cooks his meals over wood that he cuts from a tree, and then from what's left over of the wood, he makes an idol and then asks the idol to save him. Now, most of the translations that I saw were pretty good. I liked NIV the best. The one thing they get wrong in the translation is most of them say he blinds them. The he in that verse is not God. Alright, it's the idol in the previous verse. And Isaiah's being very sarcastic about that, because it's this block of wood that's blinding them. And that plays into the, you know, log in your eye verses and all that stuff in the New Testament. So look at that first, Isaiah 44, because that'll tell you really what the essence of sin is. Also look at Genesis 3, because really what sin is, the problem of sin, and hence the color of this video, is not that it's black, but that it's off-white. The sin nature is off-white. It's a Lady Macbeth constantly trying to wipe out that damned spot. Go look up the play Macbeth, and you'll see. Okay, it's an overweening urge to be good. Adam had no need to be good before sin. Alright? He was naked. He was running around naming the animals. He had a great relationship with God, and then after that, the woman, you don't even have to think about being good. You're too busy enjoying yourself. Okay, but sin is all about being good. Me be good. Me get good. Me want good. Me want to take good. Me want to take credit for somebody else's good. That's the sin nature. It's religious, just like Satan. Satan's a very religious person. He's very white. Okay? He's all about morality. He's all about being good. He's all about his own abilities. That's what the sin nature is. So when you hear Christians, and they're very big on this, oh, I believe, I have faith. Or, you know, oh, without faith without works is dead. That's the sin nature talking. Misreading James, of course. That's the real definition of total depravity. You don't need, Adam didn't need to be good for God in the garden. Sin was to reject God in favor of Adam being good on his own. Remember what Satan said to the woman? If you eat this magic fruit, you're going to be as good as smart as God. Yeah. And when she ate it, she found out she was only as good as Satan. So the whole issue about being good is the very manifestation of the sin nature. Now, the Calvinists don't get that. Because they don't get that, they mistake what total depravity is. First of all, it's an urge coming from your genetics, because it's this rejection urge, rejection of God urge, because you want to be good on your own. It's like God's head gets cut off and your own head gets put on top, which is routinely done in Bible translations. And that's what the Calvinists don't understand. They try to paint sin as a black thing. No, it's white. In fact, that's the problem. It's off-white, like this picture. All right? Another analogy would be to windows. Okay? Sin and the sin nature corrupts just enough so that it's productive, but screwy. I mean, Windows is really productive. I mean, we're all using it. Obviously, it's a good thing. But it also eats your lunch. I spend at least 4 hours a day on Windows glitches. At least. Okay, and I have to have it. You know, my job demands it. So it's like, if this is what good is, then I don't want good anymore. And that's another aspect of the sin nature. The first aspect of the sin nature is that it's religious. The second aspect of the sin nature is that since it's rebelling against God in the first place, eventually it rebels against all that good. And that's where the lasciviousness comes in. You know, oh, well, to hell with being nice, to hell with being good, to hell with morality, I just want to have fun. I mean, that's where that comes from. It's actually a reaction to not being able to make good enough. So the true essence of sin is that it's good, but not good enough. Just like Windows is good, but man, there's a cost. Used for every 1 minute, I can just click on a button and send an email or download something. Okay, but how long did it take those people to make the website so that I could do the download? How long did it take me to learn how to use Outlook Express in order to click that button? If that's what good is, it's not worth having. And basically in life, what we all go through is we learn, usually in our 40s, man, it ain't worth the trouble. You have to go to so much trouble just to get up in the morning and get dressed and look halfway decent so you can go out the door and go to work. Why? It's too much trouble for too little benefit. That's the definition of sin. So it's work, and then you get a little tiny carrot at the end. That's truly sinful. Wouldn't you say? So the Calvinists missed that. And that was another counter they could have made to the Armenians back then. If the Armenians claimed, and of course it's false, but pretend they were right. Oh, faith has merit. Yeah, but it doesn't have merit enough. That's all the Calvinists would have had to say, and the Armenians are totally shut down. What's really wrong with sin is that as the Bible puts it in several places, but most notably Romans 3:23, it misses the mark. It's too short. All right? Hebrew awon is usually translated sin, so is the word het, and the third word is pesha. Pesha means rebellion. Het means, a wide variety of things, primarily to miss the mark. Awon means to twist. And those are the kinds of things that off-white is. I mean, look at this. I mean, it's sort of good to look at this picture. All right? It's got some accuracy to it. It's something that, you don't want to throw away. You keep thinking, well, if I tinker with it, I can make it better. Yeah. Like Windows. Okay. So because the Calvinists don't understand that, they have to cast total depravity as a black condition. So that's why they have to say, you basically have no ability to say yes to God. That's not true. You have ability, but it's no good. The ability, your integrity, okay, depends on your other attributes. It doesn't depend on your free will. All right? It depends on your other attributes. Now, no matter, even God being perfect, if he used his will to sin, which of course he could do, he's omnipotent, okay? If he used his will to sin, then all of his other attributes would have been corrupted. Adam did use his will to sin, and all of his other attributes were corrupted. But he still had free will. So when you go back to Genesis 3 and you look, instead of having just one attitude, now Adam has two. negative and positive. The negative is this urge coming from his sin nature, his newly born sin nature. Alright? He's got this urge to say no.